Good evening, Academic Academy families. This evening, we are so excited to be with you. I have our fabulous administrative team with us tonight and a special guest. We are having our family table this evening because we want to make sure that we reach our goal. And that goal is for us to become a village of teachers, parents, staff, and administration coming together for school improvement each and every day as we go through virtual learning together. This forum allows us to be in communication every step of the way. We, as the school, control the delivery of instruction and provide as many resources as possible to assist in your responsibility of controlling the environment for your children and their needs while learning virtually. So part of that is our ongoing communication. And so at this time, I want to ask Mr. Donald King, our 8th grade administrator, to share some important parts of our website. Mr. King?
Yes, good evening. Let me pull up the website. Okay, good evening, everyone. This is our Academic Academy website. The web address is pgcps.org/Academic. And I just want to highlight just a few things that's on it. First of all, our grade level pages. I'm not going to go to everyone, but please check those frequently. We have our principals page and then the different grade levels. Please check those regularly for updated information. At this time, Academic, actually Prince George's County Public Schools is offering free meals to all students. And there's a link right here. If you go under the announcement section, free meals for students information is here, and it will give you the locations where you can get free meals. And if you scroll down, there's actually times when meals will be delivered to communities. So please check that out. Also, if you haven't done so, please fill out the family information form. This is the form that will give us your email address and phone number in case we need to contact you. And again, that is here under announcements. And please make sure, if you haven't done so, please fill it out. Another thing that we recently added is our monthly character trait, sponsored by our guidance department. Our character trait for September is responsibility. So please check that out each month and discuss the character trait with your child. If your child is absent, over here on the right side under quick links, there's an absent note form. Please fill that out anytime your child is absent. And I know some of you have reached out to administration and counselors telling us that your child will be absent or was absent for different reasons, including technology concerns. Even if it's a technology concern, please fill that out so that we have documentation of why your child is absent. And we just ask that you check out our Academic Academy website regularly for updated information.
Thank you, Mr. King. Most appreciated. And please, as Mr. King stated, if you could make it a habit of at least going there twice a week, that would be great because we change that information daily. Mr. King, if you could bring up the PowerPoint. I wanted to reiterate to everyone that we are in this together. It is our responsibility together to work as a team through all this this virtual learning time that we are here. We have sped up our learning curve, I mean collectively, in technology. We all have had to experience some technical difficulties and we have sped up our knowledge. However, we have come a long way since the first day of school in many aspects of technology. We all must persevere through this because this is school. Our teachers are providing rigorous instruction and being very deliberate about how they deliver their lessons to students. We all know and love school from our beautiful building for many reasons. However, our CEO, Dr. Monica Golson, has put safety first for our children. So keep in mind, this is school. I know many of you have heard of summer learning loss due to being out of school for 2.5 months during the summer. Ladies and gentlemen, learning loss is very real. Our students develop habits and skills that develop their brains. As children learn, their brains are being wired to associate things and to make connections. When those connections in their brains go away and make new connections, then there can be a loss. On average, studies have shown that student achievement scores declined over the summer vacation by 1 month worth of school year learning. Declines were sharper for math than for reading. And the extent of that learning loss was larger as the grades went higher. And this was a study of over 1 million children. So we can only guesstimate the amount of learning loss our children have experienced over this pandemic. However, I personally, as a principal, have the privilege of going in and out of classrooms all day. And I can truly say that our children are learning. They're making connections to their prior knowledge and connecting it to their new knowledge. This is how their learning moves into their long-term memory. So when children miss school, they are constantly trying to figure out what to connect this new learning to in their brains. That is that's taking up their thinking time instead of spending more time with the new learning. So school every single day is a necessity. This is not just our opinion, but this is years of research that has proven it. So now we don't have the research for virtual learning except at the college level, but we do know that a good teacher is spending more hours preparing their lessons than the amount of time that they are delivering the lesson. We know that. So please allow our teachers to teach. Allow them to deliver the lessons that they have prepared for your children. They are the professional educators. Our staff, many of which have multiple degrees, have years of experience as educators, and they are some of the finest that you will find. They care about your child and their learning. And when I say that sometimes you go and you hear a teacher say, I want to see your face on the camera. It's about that eye contact that tells a teacher that the student is on track with communication. Now, there are other ways to determine whether a child is learning, but this is what professional educators do. If there are many confused faces that they're looking at, they task themselves with deciding another way right on the spot. They are even evaluated on their ability to demonstrate their flexibility and their responsiveness. It is an important criteria for them during instruction. And this is just one of them. Teachers know that student engagement is so critical for focus and learning. I want to end this part of this discussion with a quote from Ruth Bader Ginsburg, better known as Notorious RBG, or the original gangster, whom we all owe a debt of gratitude for her fight, her fortitude, and her understanding. And this quote is from her. If you want to be a true professional, you will do something outside of yourself, something to repair tears in your community, something to make life a little better for people less fortunate than you. That's what I think a meaningful life is, living not for oneself, but for one's community. Ladies and gentlemen, I want each of you to know that teaching is a calling, it is a ministry, it is a passion, and it is a love of our children. So I ask that each of you to consider how important it is for your children to come to school each and every day to learn. And so I asked Ms. Payne at this time to share with you some of those guidelines and examples of how we can share in this virtual learning together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Adams, for that beautiful opening and so relevant and timely in this time of virtual learning. Parents, one thing I will say is that we, as a school, teachers, we appreciate your support. We appreciate all that you've done. We thank you for your patience. We thank you for being understanding. We thank you for being available when we call or send you an email or text, through our Google Voice. And we just appreciate all that you've done. One thing that we would like to talk about are best practices for being in the classroom and partnering with us during this time to help your children excel and exceed and not have so much learning loss during this time. So students and parents, we have to be mindful that this is an online classroom, that the online classroom is in fact a classroom, and it's not time to engage or with your child, add comments to what the teacher is saying, or whisper in your child's ear. Sometimes the teachers are talking and the kids are looking off like this instead of looking at the camera, or even looking down maybe at their notebooks, and so it can be distracting. Another thing is, please remember that school is a safe place, a safe space, for students to demonstrate their understanding, so teachers are able to identify areas of weakness. That is allowing and ensuring that the students they are on camera. They can be seen, their face can be seen, so that way, if there's any puzzled look, or if someone else says something, another classmate says something, they can chime in, or they can, refute or support whatever their classmate has just said. So that is also very important, and to ensure that their microphone is working as well. Communication. Please be sure that you keep in communication with your students' teachers. Schedule an appointment to discuss your child's progress with his or her teacher. Send them emails. We're very much available. If you sent the email to a teacher and they have not responded in a timely manner, please send your grade level administrator an email. We'll be sure to get right back to you and make sure that has occurred. Or if you can, or email to the guidance counselor, either or, guidance counselor or administrator, and then we will go on your behalf to the teacher. Please, please, please do not interrupt, engage again, or interact with the teacher during live instruction. That is a biggie. And I know that happens a lot with the lower campus, maybe not as much as the middle. It doesn't say it doesn't happen, but a lot, well, he can't do this or he can't do that and everything. Kindly turn the camera off. You can put something in the chat, directly to the teacher, and then work out the kinks there. And so that way, so you're not interrupting the other students who are online. Because again, this is a classroom. This is school. We may not like it. I think I said this before. We may not like it, but this is class. And so the students have to be prepared, and you interject. And that's kind of like you in a meeting and someone comes by and peeps in the room and says, "Hey, Shirley, did you get my soda I asked you to get?" It's the same concept. So we have to be mindful of how we interact with our children and the teachers during that time. Recording instructional sessions without permission is prohibited. Those are children. So even if the teachers decide to record the lesson so they can post it on Google Classroom, we cannot even show any children's face because they're underage, And so same with parents. You all are not allowed to record, screen record, use your cell phone or do any of that. Now, if you want to voice record, that's one thing, but definitely not with pictures and with other children visible on the screen. Please assist your child with their work as needed. Productive struggle is good. productive struggle is good. There are going to be times where the kids, the students are not going to understand. They're not going to get, and they may be frustrated, but it's okay. Allow them to work it out. Allow them to utilize the tools, the resources that they were given from their teachers, from the notebooks, from whatever material that was provided for them to support them, and allow them to work through it. And if they come to you and ask for support, like what I think one of the famous lines is, ask three before you ask me. So, hey, Johnny, Susie, have you gone to your notes? Did you send your teacher email? Did you contact a friend? Have you looked in your book? Have you gone on Clever? And just different aspects to allow them to work to persevere through the hard times. Because I know at times, even me, I can be kind of guilty of that. It's like, oh, here, just to answer, because you don't want to have to answer the question, or you just want to not be bothered, or why did the teacher give you this? This is too hard. It really isn't. It's just that we may not know the answer, and then we trying to make it easy for our children, but they do need to struggle at times. And then last but not least, please treat the teachers with respect in an email or any other communication. We are not here to dupe your children. We gain nothing from it. We're not here to see them fail. Otherwise, we should not be in this business. We're not here to do anything that is contradictory or negative to a child's learning. And so I would need for you all to trust the process, trust the teachers. They are fantabulous. We got some good teachers here at Geek Academy, and they want to see your child succeed. So just please be mindful of some of the things we said. I know some other admin, I'm going to turn it over to, I guess I'm going to work backwards, up, then backwards. So Mr. King, you're going to be up next in reference to some things you may want to share. But one thing that's on my mind, I know someone may say it, but I just want to say it just in case, is that please make sure that your child has a place to sit and do their work. Like right now, I'm at my table and I'm sitting up and everything. Children should be dressed appropriately, not laying in the bed, not eating, not, oh gosh, they laying like this. Sometimes they have the cameras off and they're not responding. Middle school, we may drop you off. You're not responding on screen, you're absent. This is school. This is absolute school. So you have to come prepared, come with your materials ready to work. All righty. So Mr. King, you're up next. And if you would like to share some things, some positives and some growths that we can do during this time for virtual learning.
Yes, thanks, Ms. Payne. I've been into several live classrooms, and students are doing some good work. I've actually had an opportunity to read some of the assignments, and our teachers are doing a great job delivering instruction. And many of our students are doing a great job. And like Ms. Payne said, please let them struggle. The productive struggle really helps. That's how we build a growth mindset. One thing I do want to say is that I've had to reach out to several parents lately, because students are telling their parents that they're going to class doing the work, and they're actually not. Many parents are at work during the day, and they may call and check in on their child, and the child says, "Yeah, I'm online. Let me get off the phone. I got work to do," but really they're not online. We have students that have 11, 12, and even more days absent. So parents, please check on your children, make sure that they are attending, and remember to have them cameras on so teachers can take accurate attendance, and also so they can make sure that they are participating in a lesson.
Thank you so much, Mr. King. I appreciate that. Right now, Dr. Jelks, our sixth grade administrator, can you share some grows and glows for our parents and students?
Thank you, Ms. Payne. Good evening, Accokeek family. I have been in several of the classes in sixth grade, and your students are engaging in their lesson. Teachers are delivering the instruction, and I must admit, my sixth graders this year, they're awesome. They're quiet, respectful, they raise their hand. The only concern that I'm observing, I would like to reiterate what Mr. King and Ms. Payne is saying. I'm seeing the cameras off and we can't see what the students are doing. And then when the cameras are on, we actually see some students laying in a bed or have the pillow over their head or the hoodie over their face. This is an outdoor, this is school, virtual learning, and we have to see you. So we can make sure that you're understanding, look at your facial expressions, so we can get an understanding of what you might not know. So we need to take school very seriously. And also another crucial important point is attendance. Students, it is so important for you to attend school every day, and make sure you turn in your assignments on time. That is so important. And lastly, I do have an announcement for our 6th grade. We have our distribution tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And some of the items that will be in the bag will be your English textbooks, your science and math consumable journals. Tag and honors, you will receive your respective novels from Mr. McCants, who is our tag coordinator. And it's very important when you enter the school on Barry Road, the first entrance, you're going to drive around the circle, come to the end of the circle, and we'll be there. And we'll have, and Ms. Morphew will speak on the distribution for the other grades. But again, parents, your students are doing an awesome job, well behaved. We just need for them to log on and take attendance very seriously. Attendance is very crucial for the learning process. Thank you, and I will see parents and 6th graders tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Jelks, for that information. And now we will have Ms. Morphew, our 3rd through 5th grade administrator.
Hi, sorry, I was still on mute. Good evening, everybody. First, I'd like to say my students in grades 3 through 5 have been doing a wonderful job. I know we've had some difficulties logging in, but it has been getting much better. Students are now realizing they have to go through Clever. I have noticed some students are forgetting their password. So once they get their password, it's very important that they write it down somewhere in a location that they can find, such as in their journal. That would they have easy access to it, so when they can refer back to it when they forget, because that's what I'm finding out, they forget their password. So if you can have it in a place where they can write it down close to their Chromebook that they can refer back to, that would be wonderful. I also like to give a shout out to my teachers. They've been doing a fabulous job. They've been walking students through the process. If they can't log in, they've been taking time to help them out step by step. So I appreciate each and every one of them. I know this week they're testing, so they've been having little difficulties with TestNav every now and then, but they've been students have been sharing their screen and teachers have been able to help them out. So one thing I would like to see is this week, as I said, was testing. I did have a couple students testing during our off school hours. It's very important that we have our academic integrity where students are testing during the testing times. It's important that students are at school and doing their testing assignments or testing during school hours. The teachers need to see the students taking the assessment. It's very important. This helps with the integrity of the test to make sure that they're taking it. I'm not saying that you're taking the test for them, but when they then come to class, they've already taken the test, then they have no assignment to do. So it's very important that you allow them to take the test during their instructional time, not later in the evening or early in the morning before school starts, because it doesn't go with the school program. That's why when they're in school, they have testing times just like they would have if they were in school. So I would appreciate your help and support in that manner. But like I said, my students are doing a great job. I appreciate each and every one of my teachers and my students. I love them all.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Morphew. Thank you, parents, for those great comments. One parent mentioned, and I saw some other parents agree, that we should have a survey. So yes, we shall come up with a survey to determine, what needs and what other things are working and not working, so we can bridge, any deficits or gaps, so that way we can come together and make this learning venture um, uh, profitable for all. All righty. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, my admin team. No, my admin team. Thank you, admin, for all your great comments and in reference to our material distribution day. And now, Dr. Adams, is back to you.
Thank you, Ms. Payne. Thank you, admin, for those words. I just wanted to ask Ms. Crook, did you want to add anything there?
No, we're fine, Miss Dr. Adams.
And, we talked a little bit about the distribution days. I really want to re-emphasize that. But first, I want to thank the people that you don't see. Ms. Cruz and Mr. McIntyre have led this effort on distribution. And we are excited about their leadership, and we appreciate it. They have been joined by Mr. Barnes and Ms. St. Clair on numerous occasions. And then there's a host of other people that have assisted. It is a huge effort to get nearly 1,600 bags prepared for different coursework. So I sincerely thank each of them for their assistance. I want to take a moment with Ms. Morphew so she can reiterate distribution.
Can I share my screen, please? I don't know who has access right now.
Mr. King is controlling the screen.
Thank you, Mr. King. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So let me move it over so we can get to this. Just a little bit bigger. Okay, so as Dr. Jux was sharing a little bit earlier, we have first grade at 10 o'clock tomorrow. 11 o'clock begins second grade. Fifth grade begins at 12 o'clock. And as Dr. Jux said, 1 o'clock begins sixth grade. So as you enter through the bus parking lot, we're going to have you drive around, and then you'll be stopping in front of the school near the main office area. We'll have bags. You just tell us your child's grade level. If you're in second or fifth, you need to let us know if they're in tag, because their bags have different items in it that we need to know. For first grade, these are the items that will be found in your bag. Your reading, you'll have units 1 and 2 in the bag, along with your Great Body Workshop, which is your health. You'll have your science materials, your social studies. You'll have a yellow folder which will include sight words in it. You'll have your math and vision, your Common Core student workbook, which is this book right here. You'll be getting manipulatives as soon as they come in. They have not come in yet. And you'll have a headphone set. You'll also have a desk plate where students can have their name. So it's more like a desk space at school where they would have their nameplate there. For second grade, we have the reading program. They have volumes 1, 2, and 3. They will also have their Great Body Workshop. Of course, it's a different level for grade second. They have their science, HMH Science Dimensions workbook, social studies. Included in their yellow folder, they'll have a spelling dictionary, a sheet protector with 120 chart paper, open number lines, double 10 frame, and a math resource packet. They'll have their headphones in it as well. They'll have their math and vision book and a Common Core workbook as well. Sorry. My fault. and Hand to Mind book as well, which is also with their manipulatives. They're waiting for that. In second grade, they also have iCal, and they'll be studying Japanese. And they too will also have a nameplate. Grade 5 for the comprehensive students, they have their 2 reading books. They will have a chapter book titled Rules. They will have their science curriculum, their science textbooks, their social studies, the health, their Great Body Workshop, their math and vision books, the Common Core workbook for grade 5, and then they'll have a resource packet and a math resource packet. And I will go over what's in there in one moment. For 5th grade tag, again, they'll also have rules as well for their chapter book. But they also get, in addition to what I've just shared earlier, they also have junior grade books. They'll get book 1, which deals with honesty, self-respect, and fitting in. And book 2 is about family, humility, and compassion. And then they also have the William and Mary series, and it's on autobiographies and memoirs. And their tag component for that program for iCal is Spanish, and they'll have their student packet. As I was saying, they're going to have a yellow folder with resources. In their resources, they're going to have transition words, parts of speech poster, a closed read annotation key, think marks. They'll also have posters for author's purpose, central idea, theme, point of view, text structure, plot, text features, and standards for mathematical practices and math reference posters. So they have a wide range of materials that'll be provided for them. This Friday, we will be having grades 3 and 4, grade 3 from 11 to 12, and 4th grade from 12:30 to 1:30. And again, you'll be entering through the bus parking lot. Here's grade 3's materials. Again, you'll have the Reading Hoot Mifflin series. You also have a chapter book there, Celia Lee Jenkins, Future Author Extraordinaire. And then you have your social studies and science, Common Core for grade 3, in your math textbooks. And for iCal, they're studying Chinese. So they'll have that as well. For tag, they have everything that's the same, except for iCal, they're studying Spanish for the tag program. And then they have their junior grade books and William and Mary. For 4th grade, they have their reading series. They're doing Flora Ulysses is their chapter book. They have their science, their social studies. iCal is Spanish for 4th grade comprehensive. And then they also have their math textbooks. I'm sorry, I don't have a picture there. And the math Common Core workbook. And then as well for Reading Hoot Mifflin, you have your reading series. They also, for tag, get the same chapter book. But again, for tag, they get their junior grade books in William and Mary. And for iCal, they're studying Spanish for tag. They also will have these same packets in their yellow folder. And for math, they're just getting the standards of mathematical practices. Thank you, Dr. Adams.
Thank you, Ms. Morphew. We appreciate that. We spend a great deal of time on trying to get and accumulate this information for you. But I just want to, before I move on to the next topic, I just want to thank my administrative team for all the special things that they do every day, from going to student homes and helping them get online, to providing them and going to their home with a hotspot when transportation wasn't available to the family. And I could go on and on with the things that they have done. So I just want to publicly thank them for everything that they do. Thank you, guys. At this time, I want to introduce our special guests. For those of you who have been at Academy for some time, you know her well. And for those of you who are just arriving, you will know and get to know her and love her. our professional school counselor and also chair of our counseling department, Mrs. Andrea Taylor. Ms. Taylor?
Good afternoon, Academic Academy and family, and thank you for having me on, Dr. Adams. I'm here today just to kind of just welcome you guys into the Academic family and to share a little bit about myself and our school counseling department. We have been, as of September, going into the school counselors have been going into our classrooms and talking to our students about what school counseling is all about and what we do. So as the sixth grade counselor, I forgot to say that, and also the department chair for the whole building for the counseling department, we have the opportunity to meet as a group and to make sure that we're all on the same page, to make sure that your children are getting everything they need for social and to grow maturely, and to make sure that they're developing socially in our school and at home. And so just wanted to share a little bit about what we've been doing. So when we go into your classroom, your children's classrooms, we talk to your students about the counseling department. In our counseling department, basically we have three folds of things that we do with your students. We meet with them individually, we can meet with them as a group, or we can meet with them in a classroom guidance environment. And so when we went into the classrooms, and all of our counselors are doing that, and let me just say, in case you should have all know your counselors, but we have a K-2 counselor, Ms. Raina Johnson, 3-5, Mr. Chad Triggs, 6th grade, myself, Andrea Taylor, 7th grade. We have Ms. Ebony Chris, and in 8th grade, we have Ms. Sherry Wright. And each counselor works with their particular caseload to let them know that we are available for them to meet their social and emotional needs. And so in the classrooms, we've been working with them this month on just getting them to know what we do and who we are. And so we spoke with your children particularly about how to refer themselves to counseling. So most of us on our websites or on our virtual classrooms, you should see where we have a self-referral link, and our students are, and I'm not sure with the lower kids, the K-2, there may be a link for parents to refer. But in those cases, our children are able to go onto those websites and refer themselves. And we talk to them about, okay, why would you like to see the counselor? Why would you may need to see the counselor? So some students may want to see us for class, help with class schedules, administrative things. They may want to see us to help them meet new students, because even in this virtual world, we have new students that have come into the building, virtual building, and are anxious to meet other friends. We have students that may come to us about academic needs, their feelings. We talk to them about how they may want to talk to us about dealing with things like anger management, or just learning how to get along with others, or even self-esteem. And so most of our students have gotten needs assessments that we give during our activity that actually says, hey, you need to talk to me about something. And when they share those needs assessments with us, we can develop groups of students who may want to work with us in particular areas. And I didn't mention grief, but also grief groups as well. And so most of our students have had their needs assessments done through our classroom guidance lessons, and have shared whether or not they want to talk to us about something. One important thing that we talk to your students about is confidentiality. And that is that when your students share things with us, you know, whether it's not getting along with a particular friend, they know that what they say to us, it is in confidence and it is in a safe place. And we also share the 3 domains where we cannot keep that confidence. So our students are very much aware that if they share that they are hurting, or if they have hurt someone else, or someone's hurting them, that those are when we have to share with another person, we're by morally, and also we have to do this because of it's our job to share with you as a parent and others to get them assistance in that area. So those are just some of the things we talked about in our counseling lessons. That was in September. October, we're going to be doing a school-wide bullying prevention program. And so you'll be hearing more about that. And I mean, if you've been with us over the years, you know that we wear orange on Unity Day. We also have usually announcements about bully prevention. We usually go into the classroom and do lessons and videos talking about bully prevention. And you'll see a lot of that going forth. We also talked about starting a peer mediation program again, so that even in this virtual world, we can have our students learn some conflict resolution skills to help other students to work out their problems in a way in which they're not harming each other. Also, we talked about lunch bunches and opportunities for our students to get back together socially, even in the virtual world. So that's just some of the things we talked to them about in our September meeting. And I wanted to share with you an object lesson we did with our young people, because we feel like it's so important that they know how valuable they are, even during this time. So this is, I tell the students, what is this? And they'll say, oh, that's money. And I'm saying, oh, well, do you like money? Is this something you can use? And they say, oh yeah, we can buy things with that. Usually it has to be a little bit more than $10 to impress them, but this is all I could find today. So afterwards, I tell them, okay, so what is it about this money that makes it so interesting? They said, it's valuable. We can use it. I say it's valuable. You're absolutely right. So then I crumple it up, I ball it up, I throw it down, I call it names. I say, I don't need you. You're not worth anything. And then I unfold it and I straighten it out and I ask them, what is it? And they say, it's still $10. And I said, can we still use it? And they say, yes. And I said, so is it still valuable? And they say, yes. And then we equated, they actually come up with the concept that as a student, that our self-image, we're just as valuable, and that no matter what happens to us, just like this $10 bill, I crumpled it up. Sometimes names were thrown at it. I threw it down, and that happens to us every day, adults and children. And so I let them know that you can unfold it, you can unwrinkle it, you can straighten it out. And at the end of the day, there's still value here. And it's still value, no matter what you're going through, no matter how we're getting through and processing through this whole virtual world, we can still get through it. And we can get through it and still be valuable and still have our self-image intact. And so our counseling department is here to let you know that your children are valued here at Academic Academy. We want the best for them, and we are working to make sure that they know that. And we want you to know that too. So I'll just leave you with that object lesson and to let you know that there's nothing that we can go through that's going to change who we are and what our expectations are for your children. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. We appreciate that lesson. We also appreciate the delivery of services from all of our counselors. And so we wanted to give you a taste, ladies and gentlemen, of what they do, especially on the social emotional side of our children, because we are here to service the whole child. I'm going to ask Ms. Crook to discuss what we're doing with our kindergartners and how we have moved into iPads.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I want to thank all of my kindergarten parents for being very patient with this process. We started with our Chromebooks, and as soon as we got everyone accustomed to the Chromebooks, we snatched them back and gave you your iPads. And I know we've been having some difficulties with getting the iPad set up, but I want to thank everyone for your patience and flexibility. So we gave out some directions in writing. I'm going to go through those iPad setup directions again with you. I'm a visual learner, so I thought maybe visuals will help. Mr. King, you can. So the first step is you're going to power on your iPad, and you'll see where the green arrow is. That shows you where the power button is. After you power on your iPad, the second step is you're going to press the home button, which is at the bottom of your iPad, is in the center of your iPad. And you're going to do that to open up the iPad. Step 3, you need to select the language for interacting with the device, and you're going to tap English. Step 4, select your country or region, and you're going to tap United States, and you'll see the picture. That's how your screen should look. Step 5 is quick start. and you're gonna tap the set up button. It's manually, set up manually, and it's a blue link at the bottom of your screen where the green arrow is. Step 6, you're gonna choose your Wi-Fi network. So tap on your wireless network from the list that pops up. You're gonna enter your Wi-Fi password and you're gonna tap join. Then select next in the upper right-hand corner. It's gonna take a few minutes to activate your iPad and you will see that message pop up and it says it may take a few minutes to activate. Step 9 is remote management. You're gonna tap next in the upper right corner. If you get an invalid profile message, and you'll see that in the red box, if you get that message, tap back in the upper left corner and you have to repeat those steps. So steps 1 through 8, you're gonna repeat all of those steps again. And you're gonna repeat those steps until you get the profile is accepted. And you'll see a picture here and it says verified. It'll pop up in green. That means your profile is now verified and you're good to go. Step 10 is location services. You're gonna tap enable location services and you see that in the red box. Step 11 is the most important step. Once you go through step 11, you'll see the self-service app. That app is going to upload all of the apps that you need for Prince George's County Public Schools. If you do not see that self-service app, you need to go back through the steps again. None of the apps are going to work unless you see self-service app. Okay, once you see that self-service app, I need you to leave your iPad alone. I know the kids are excited to play on it, but once you see that, you need to put the iPad down. Don't turn it off, just set it down and wait for everything to download. It may take a few hours, so I've been asking parents, once you run through the steps, leave the iPad alone, let the apps download at least until overnight. For Zoom, students need to sign in to the Zoom app. You're gonna find the Zoom app on your iPad and you're gonna sign in. When you open the app, you're gonna see boxes that pop up to enter your username and password. Do not use those boxes. I know, I don't understand that either. I know that you're saying, well, why does it say username and password? Do not use those boxes. You're gonna see sign in with SSO. You're gonna select that option and it will ask you for the company domain. You're gonna enter pgcps-org. It will open Safari and you will see the Prince George's County Public School login page. That's where you're gonna log in using your name and password, and that will take you to your Zoom meeting. Now, if you have any issues, Mr. King? If you're having any difficulties, please email me. My email is tanisha.crook@pgcps.org. Email me your serial number. The serial number is found on the back of your iPad. It's at the very bottom in very small letters. I had to put my contacts and my glasses on to see it. It's 12 characters and it's a mix of letters and numbers. And it's going to start with GG. It's not the number under the barcode. I know a lot of parents confuse that. You would think that it's that number because that's the biggest number on the back of your iPad. It is not that number. It's on the bottom of your iPad. Again, it's 12 characters and it starts with GG. So if you're still having difficulties getting into the apps, getting onto Clever, getting into Zoom or Google Classroom, please email me with your serial number. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Crook, for learning so much so quickly about iPads and what it's going to take for us to use them to fidelity. So I want to thank everyone for coming this evening. Parents, we need you. We need you to be a part of our family. We need you to help us to get better and improve. We need you to assist your students and create the environment that they need to be successful. And so I do want you to know that we appreciate everything that you have done and everything that you continue to do. So thank you. And at this time, I want to turn over the meeting to Ms. Payne as she goes to our chat room to retrieve questions so that the appropriate person can answer. Ms. Payne.
Thank you, Dr. Adams. I had several parents ask about returning their Chromebooks tomorrow when they pick up their supplies. I said yes. Can you sanction that? Would that be okay?
So kindergartners are not picking up supplies tomorrow.
No. No. I said parents. I'm sorry. Let me turn my volume up. Parents are just want to know if they can just drop off, Chromebooks either they don't need or they're not working.
So, but are they asking to just drop it off without an appointment? That would be fine.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, they're coming to pick up supplies tomorrow.
Okay.
So they will be at the school. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. That would be fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it. Third and fourth grade material distribution. We're on for Friday. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Friday.
Did we have times?
Third grades from 11 to 12. Fourth grades from 12:30 to 1:30.
Okay. And I know middle school, we're slated for next Wednesday, September the 30th. Grade 7 and 8 times will be shared at soon. That's all we have.
Excellent. Parents, know that we care. Know that you can always email us with your questions if we do not know the answer. And sometimes we don't on technology problems. And we will seek out the appropriate people to assist us in answering your questions. So we thank you for being with us this evening. We appreciate you, and I appreciate our special guest, our professional school counselor, Ms. Taylor. And thank you, administrative team, for all that you do. Thank you, parents, and have a great evening on purpose.